between 18 and 22. Okay, well, no, Buster Douglas beat him when, we was 23, I think, when Buster Douglas beat him. But Kobolov has a lot better skill set than people give him credit for. The pounding
he's not a slugger. He's a boxer who punches hard.
That's right. You're right. He's a triple G. He's an oversized triple G to me.
Right.
You right now, Professor? I didn't hear you.
Absolutely. That's how I see him.
Yeah, I see him as a bigger triple G. I'm gonna start calling him Quad G from now on. Matter of fact. I mean, honestly, I like his fight coming up. I got to break his fight down. Matter of fact, I got to do a show on this fight Thursday night. Pascal Kobolov, that's this weekend coming up.
Yeah, but he's got to get past Roy Jones Jr. first.
That's right, he does, and I don't know if he could. What made Roy, man, I'm telling you what Roy did to Virgil Hill, what Roy did to guy, I mean, Virgil Hill was a great fighter. I mean, he was a real good fighter. I mean, he really was. A lot of people don't understand who he is. My only problem was with Roy was the fact that I would have went to, I know the professor remembers this guy, Darius Mariuski or whatever, I can't pronounce his name exactly right. You remember he held a portion of the light heavyweight title for a while. Darius Milcheski or whatever his name is. I can't never pronounce it right. It's one of them,
Slavic names.
Yeah, and
everybody knows we can't say them.
But hey, and I apologize if you're listening. I want to shout out to y'all. I appreciate all y'all worldwide listening in the UK, Cameroon, Spain, Argentina, Nigeria. The list goes on, and I don't have it right in front of me right now, but I think I screenshot it, shot it to the professor earlier, and it's just, I mean, I'm amazed. I love y'all. I appreciate all the support you give us. I really do. I mean, I wouldn't do this, we wouldn't continue to do this if it wasn't for the feedback we get from y'all, and it helps. I mean, it helps us. It makes, it kind of gives us a chance to raise our chest a little bit, and hey, we did it good. That catchweight episode we did took off. It was great. It was a great episode. I did an NFL episode that just zoomed. I did one on. We did a Gary Goodridge interview that just it took off and was all MMA. And like I said, my next fight's going to be an MMA fight. But this fight right here, I see Roy Jones Jr. winning this fight by decision, strictly off athletic ability, speed, reflexes, his ability, his defensive skill set was not that of a Pernell Whitaker or a Floyd Mayweather, or especially not a Nicolino Loche, or whatever you want to say it. That guy right there, he was called the untouchable one, as a matter of fact. I'm sure Professor's probably pretty familiar with him. If you don't know who he is, guys, look him up. This guy was brilliant. I mean, as far as not being hit. And you got the myth of Willie Pep winning a round without throwing a punch. Well, Mythical Matchups titled the show. To me, that's a myth. I don't know how that's possible. I've never witnessed it. I mean, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. I wasn't there. Professor might be a little bit. He's almost old enough to have been there, but.
I'm old enough to have witnessed some London prize ring rule fights.
Oh my goodness! He watched some 42 rounders, guys. I got a boxing match I'm gonna talk about a little later on. That involves most of y'all's favorite. Because our listening, I get statistical breakdown as far as geographical. Age groups, everything. 18 to 34 is doing real good. And then we got a gap there for some reason from 35 to 50. We're not as well in it, but then all of a sudden we get to 51 to 68, I believe it is, something like that. I'm going off of memory here. We just, boom, we take off again. And it's for some reason we didn't catch it on to 35 to 50. So I think I know why, actually. I believe it's because it was an era. It's this Facebook stuff. It's the social media stuff that you see. It's these groups that you see. So many people, my national director of training is Mr. Jacob Hudson, all right? And he's on Facebook. He didn't want his name, he didn't want, people to harass him and stuff. He's a two-time national champion, 1998 and 1999. He represented America in the Goodwill Games, all right? Won a silver medal. Ask Floyd Mayweather about him. He can tell you all about him. And he's done a great job. He's a great fighter. And you look him up on BoxRec, he was 7-0, undefeated. He retired to go to ministry school, but now he's Team Fight Serve. He's with us, and he's trained. He trained. If you're a fighter with Fight Serve, he works with you. Okay, and this guy's skill. He's got a skill set like you wouldn't believe. I mean, you don't. Even though, like I said, he's only had 7 professional fights, he's 7-0. He was 7-0 fairly easily, and you don't win back-to-back national championships. Well, you ain't the number 1 ranked 132 pounder in the world 2 consecutive years, and not have a skill set. You know what I mean? And not know how to do what you're doing. I mean, let's just take a look at what Darnell Boone has become in the last little bit. Okay, there's a method to the madness. I'll say. Like I said before, I'll never give away secrets on air. Will I ever expose a fighter that I think's a potential matchup? Never on air. There's no way. I mean, that was just crazy. That would be silly on my part. I don't want y'all to miss Team Diesel in effect, though. February 18th, Costa Mesa, California. Coming to you live. Team Fight Serve, Team Diesel will be there. And Dmitry Volov going to lose his O. He's going to lose his O. All right, guys. The professor himself, he texted me, want to know, whoa, he matched him up here, and it's a risk reward fight. It's risky, but the reward's pretty good too, And we got long-term goals, and to see some of the things. And I had an episode 2 days ago that I just went off. I went plumb off because I got tired of people bashing my guys to start with. And then I read a friend of mine sent me a thing about the Lopez kid that, won the trials and can't even represent America. He's representing Honduras. I'm pulling for Honduras to win the gold medal in 130 pounds. And I used to be a part of USA Boxing. I mean, I was a fighter with USA Boxing, even coached with USA Boxing. So, but that's as far as that goes. But in my decision, I'll just go back to this mythical matchup. Roy Jones Jr., Sergey Kovalev. I see Roy Jones winning by decision. I actually see him scoring a knockdown during this fight. Okay? I see him scoring a knockdown, but I also see him getting knocked down during this fight. I see that.
Let me ask you. Let me first of all say that these guys are so good that I couldn't argue whichever way you picked it. But let me just ask you this. If you say that Roy Jones Jr. wins, you'd say out of 10 fights, how many of them would he win? If they were able to fight 10 times and...
Depends on which Roy Jones...
and physical conditioning, etc.
This goes into that prime...
Roy Jones Jr. win.
Okay. This gets into that prime, when is the prime thing. I think the 98, 99, 2000 Roy Jones wins 9 out of 10 times.
And the other time, what happens? KO?
He gets knocked out.
Yeah, okay, because Kovalev does hit too hard.
Yeah, I mean, we've got...
This job the way it's over, but you think he would win 9 out of 10?
If you get the right Roy Jones, like I said, like that quote-unquote prime thing,
Well,
if you get the 99, 98 Roy Jones...
got to be in the prime.
Huh?
The fantasy match always has to be in the prime.
That's my opinion, too. I do, too. I agree 100% when you're doing that. And you'll see, go on social media. I can go on there right now. There's actually a group called Mythical Matchups or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I'm in over 60 of them. So...
okay, then let me just ask you this. So he wins 9 of them, loses 1 by KO. Out of the 9 that he wins, are all of them decisions?
No, I don't think so. I think I think it's a stoppage, but I don't think it's a KO. Roy had a unique ability of that man could throw like a 7-8 punch left hook combination, and that's all he threw, and would change angles during the combo. I don't know if you remember. I know you remember. You seen him watch the Montel Griffin fight. You know the Burger Hill fight when he hit him with a liver shot that put him plumb down.
He lost the fight by disqualification.
Yeah, against Griffin the first time. Yeah.
Unfortunately, he just gave him a shot when he was sitting on the floor.
Yeah, it was he. It was against the rules. Rules are rules, guys. Huh?
I said, I don't know what's going on. Just some switch flips in their minds or whatever. GGG could have been disqualified for the same thing against Lemieux.
Yeah.
And Rocky Marciano came pretty close.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, against Jersey Joe Walker.
That's what I was getting ready to say. That's just what I was getting ready to say.
He had the man in a coma.
Yep. He damn sure did. A lot of people, a lot of people discredit Rocky and his career on these groups and stuff, and I get aggravated with it. I am not going to lie.
He's my next fight.
Oh, really, is he?
Yeah.
Let's hear your next one then. What you got?
All right. Rocky Marciano was 5'10", maybe 190 pounds, depending on what part of his career you look at. Bringing him into the modern era, and you can put a 1 inch on him, but still he would be a small heavyweight. 49-0, 43 knockouts. And we have him against Tommy Morrison, who was 6 feet 2 inches tall, 225 pounds. A record of 48-3-1, 32 knockouts. And Tommy Morrison was one of the greatest, hardest hitting, the greatest punchers of all time.
Yeah, well,
and I see that because of the effect of the punch on the opponent. Not that he knocked them out, but how consistently he knocked them out with absolute bone-crushing, head-jarring kind of punches that knocked them completely out of the ring apron, and the head went one way, the legs another, etc. But he did have a vulnerable jaw, and Rocky did not. I think that there's a possibility that Tommy Morrison lands perfectly cleanly, and if that happens, the fight is all over. As you remember in his fight against Donovan the Razor Ruddock, he was losing badly. He landed that one left hook and absolutely disconnected the Razor. But I think that he's not going to land on Rocky. His defense was better than you would think. He didn't take too many of them really flush, and was knocked down only twice his entire career.
Most underrated defensively.
On the other hand, who was also a better boxer than people think, always got in trouble when he was winning a fight against a good fighter, except against George Foreman, when he realized, I better not get close. And he won that fight because of his boxing ability. I think Tommy Morrison looks at little Rocky, goes after him, tries to knock him out, and instead Rocky Marciano hammers him out of it, KO 5, very similar to what Ray Mercer did in the same round.
Who beat him? Can you tell me that again? Berson, who done? I'm just bragging on my.
I think it would be a very similar type KO.
So you're saying Marciano KOs him?
Marciano KO 5.
That's what I got. Well, that's a bold prediction as far as how early it is, but I can't go against it because I can see him exposing himself, and he did have a questionable jaw. That's no joke. I mean, we're as real as it gets here. We're going to tell you. I mean,
Morrison was beating Ray Mercer very badly when he took one punch.
Exactly.
And follow-up punches, he couldn't get away from them, and he was just mercilessly knocked out. He was totally outclassing Michael Bent. As a matter of fact, Michael Bent was going to be finished with a couple more punches. Tommy left himself open for one left hook, And then from that point